I'm Kayla with Live Oak Nest. Welcome back to my home. Today I'm working on a couple of fun projects for a fall tablescape. So I picked up these little white dishes at the dollar store, and I wanted to use some of a Maker Studio stencils to pretty them up and make them festive for the fall season. So this is the wheat stencil, and y'all know I love decorating with dried florals and stems for the fall season especially, and so I wanted to tie in the use of dried wheats that I use throughout my home onto my tablescape. So I picked up this stencil and I'm going to just trim out the one that I want to use. There are so many pretty ones on here and several of them would work, but I decided on this one, and I'm basically just going to cut out the stencil, place it on my plate, and then use their ceramic paint to put my stencil onto the plate. So I'm going to be using the gold metallic in the ceramic paint, and this paint is wonderful. It's no bake, so you don't have to bake it in the oven. You can if you want to speed up the dry time, but you can just let it sit for 12 to 14 hours and it will completely cure. I love working with this. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to just add a special something to your glasses, your plates, any of your dish serverware, things like that. You do want to keep in mind that you do want to hand wash this, but it is a microwave safe, and of course it is food safe. To apply the ceramic paint, I'm using one of a Maker Studio's silicone squeegees, and they also have a really thin one that basically kind of looks like a pencil, and so you can really kind of get into those little bitty areas really well. So I'll link both of those in the description below. This is just a super simple, quick, and beautiful way to update your plates. So I'll continue repeating that process and then washing my stencil in between each plate. The next thing I wanted to do was to create a couple of place cards, and so I wanted to use one of her Amy Howard stencils from a Maker Studio to do that. So I cut up some craft paper, folded it in half, and now I'm going to use a stencil to put a little pattern on the edge, and that way I can write each name beside that stencil. So this is the Woodland Creature stencil. It's so cute, and when I saw it, I loved the little acorn that was on here, and so I'm going to use that acorn and put a stencil on each place card. For my place cards, I'm going to use the gel art ink, and I decided to mix a little bit of the metallic gold and the metallic copper to give it a warm gold look. And so I'm just going to put a little on my paint palette here, mix them together, and then use my little spreader to press it down into the mesh stencil. If you've never used a Maker Studio stencils before, you will be so amazed at how clean and crisp the artwork comes out when you pull up your stencil. I'm amazed every time, and no matter how little the stencil is or how detailed, it just is amazing the quality of the artwork that is left behind after that stencil is pulled up. So when I was finished crafting, I wanted to go ahead and set my table. So for my place settings, I used my base as a grapevine wreath, and then I just layered up from there. I have these beautiful brown pheasant plates, and then I'm using a moss or olive color linen napkin, and then I layered on the wheat plate that I stenciled, and then I decided to add just a couple of sprigs of dried wheat just to kind of bring in the texture and the dimension, and I thought it looked really pretty, kind of mirroring the artwork from the stencil. For my centerpiece, I decided to pull in a lot of the painted pumpkins that I just shared with you how to do, and then I added in a couple of grapevine pumpkins and some eucalyptus to bring in those greens. I hope y'all have enjoyed this simple little project on how to add to a neutral fall tablescape. I think it just looks so pretty and it's so festive for the fall season. So I do have more photos and information on my blog if you want to go check that out. And if you're new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I share French cottage inspiration for all things home, decor, and DIYs. Thanks so much for watching, and y'all take care. I'll see you again soon.